welcome to the channel. It's your boy Pelican Bay Kennels, giving you that dog news the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Like I always say, y'all subscribe to that channel. Don't forget to hit that button, hit that like button before you get up out of here. And don't forget to drop the comments. Let's get into that news for the day. Shout out to all my bulldoggers from the north, south, east to the west on this rainy day here in South Carolina. Like I said, it's your boy PBK9. Shout out to Big Al up in Philly, Samurai Kennel, Brother Volatile. Shout out Brother Volatile, Liquid Lucky, Brother Richard Shaw, Double M Despo, Knucklehead Kennels, Gemini D, Will Francis. Shout out to all the bulldoggers out there, man. All my folk out there holding me down. Okay, today, my dog brothers and sisters, we are talking about a few things, but first, on the agenda, I want to ask you a question. Is there a difference between a pure Redboy dog and, dog directly off Redboy? And which one would you rather have? And this ain't discredit, because we're talking about the black Redboy dogs as well. And what about the black Redboy dogs? But my thing is, would you rather have a dog with every single dog in the pedigree off Redboy? Every single dog in the pedigree coming down off Redboy? Or would you rather have a dog directly off Redboy? And there's a difference. There's a difference, In order to tighten up the blood to get to the pure factor, you gotta at least breed 3 generations. At least 3. We using Redboy as an example. You take Redboy to, the first breeding, which will be his daughter. You take Redboy to his daughter. Then you take Redboy to his granddaughter. Then you take Redboy back again to his great-granddaughter. And then we talking about purifying a particular dog. If you want a pure Tom dog, your dog named Tom, and he want a pure Tom dog, then you're going to have to go to his daughter, take him back again to his granddaughter, take him back again to his great-granddaughter. And the main thing we cannot forget, that we seem to forget certain things when it comes to these pedigrees. The main thing we can't forget is every single dog in that pedigree counts. The top dogs as well as the bottom dogs. We seem to tend to leave off the bottom dogs sometime when it comes to certain things, or when it comes to this breeding, and seem to use the dog, like I said before, who is more famous or more well-known or seems to be producing the better dogs. So we'll use that dog, but every dog in the pedigree count, man. Every single dog, from the top to the bottom, and some of these dogs, you might have a dog in the pedigree 3 or 4 times, that same dog in the pedigree 3 or 4 times, but that dog wasn't pre-potent. The pre-potent dog is only in the dog 1 time in the 4th generation, but you can see his genes all the way in, way back to this dog that you got. You can see his genes from the 4th generation, and he's only in the pedigree 1 time. And you got another dog that's in the pedigree 3, 4, 5 times, but it wasn't pre-potent. They wasn't producing the way that one dog was producing. And you can tell it, you can tell it. But let's get on to some more Redboy dogs. See, one thing about Redboy dogs, I know, there's a chance you can have a black Redboy dog. It just depends on how you bred them and the selective breeding you was doing. Because the first dog up on the back is Marlowe's Brandy Girl, okay? Now, would you rather have Brandy Girl, who was directly off Redboy, or would you rather have a dog like Deacon or one of them, who's all their dogs in the pedigree is coming off Redboy? Now, when you look at this dog, Brandy Girl, you don't really see Redboy when you look at that dog, just off the picture. In real life, maybe you can see the features from it, but, off that picture, you don't really see the features from Redboy. Now, if somebody wanted to breed back to Redboy, we're going to get into some more pedigrees, but if you take Brandy Girl and breed her back to Redboy, and then say she have a dark brindle, black brindle color dog, and you keep that dog, and then you breed that back to Redboy, and then you come back with more dark color stuff, And you keeping the dark color dogs. Now you're not keeping the red ones, you're keeping the black color and the brindle color ones. And you take that one and breed that back to red boy, you get some dark color ones. I mean, that's pretty much pure red boy then, and you black. You know what I'm saying? And you black. But in order to get that black, you know, some other kind of strain of dog had to been bred with red boy from the start. You know, but you could purify the line up going back to red boy and purify it up and still keep that black, because that black is a dominant trait, and it's gonna follow on down. And like I said, if you select the breeding, you're not getting rid of the black ones, you keeping the black ones. Although they're not red like red boy, you know, but you keeping the black ones, and that's gonna, you know, if you still sticking to the breeding program, that's gonna give you the black red boy dogs back in the days. But my thing is, would you rather have a dog like, you know, like Deacon or some of these other dogs that are pure red boy, top and bottom, all the way through? Or would you rather have a dog like Brandy Girl, who's 50% red boy, 50%, you know, Bass Cleo, who's coming down off the La Posse stuff? And that goes back to what we was talking about, you know, a while back, fellas. A lot of these great dogs, I'm talking about not from the 60s and the 70s, but the ones more closer in the modern day times. Red Boy, Yellow John, and all them, and you know, a lot of these dogs weren't. Some of them wasn't really heavy inbred. You know, I'm talking about it was maybe a brother, a father bred back to a daughter, but not too much, too much. You know, and these dogs were great producers. Great producers. Just my opinion, you know, I think it's better to have off of, like I'd rather have a grandson of Yellow, you know, top and bottom. He's the grandson of, I'm not Yellow, my fault. I'd rather have the grandson of Red Boy, top and bottom, than have, you know, the more modern day pure Red Boy dog from modern day times. I'd rather have a son, of Red Boy, which would be 50-50. 50% of the other dog, 50% of Red Boy, than have a pure Red Boy dog from modern day times. It's just genetically, something about the dogs that was coming directly off the dogs compared to the dogs who got Red Boy in every single dog in their pedigree. You know, the level of offspring is still, to me, my opinion, is a slight bit different. You know what I'm saying? Compared to what offspring Red Boy was really throwing off, compared to the offspring of a pure Red Boy dog. You know? And I don't know if genetics get weaker over time. I don't know. You know, I know different dogs bring in different qualities and different traits when you're breeding with different dogs and stuff, but, you know, I'm not just sure. But we move on to the next dog. Now, when we talk about Marlowe's Mr. Bulldog, like I said, it's not pure Red Boy. Not pure Red Boy. 75% Red Boy, because Red Boy bred back to his daughter. But then we still have the bottom side. We can't forget the bottom side. Them bottom sides of them dogs could be the reason some of these dogs were coming out as phenomenal as they was coming out back in them days compared to now. Yeah, we have a pure Red Boy dog, but we don't have that bottom stuff that everybody's forgetting and don't call out. We don't have that bottom stuff bred to that Red Boy and that bottom stuff bred to that Yellow John or this or that to get these certain dogs, you know, that they was throwing back then, you know what I'm saying? To get them dogs, you know. And Mr. Bulldog is a great dog, and I'm quite sure, you know, Mr. Bulldog being just 75% Red Boy was throwing off, you know, high quality dogs than your modern day Red Boy dog that's every single dog in the pedigree is Red Boy. You know, I'm quite sure that Mr. Bulldog stock was higher than 70 Arab Boomer quality dogs. The quality that was coming off Mr. Bulldog, I'm quite sure was higher than 70 Arab Boomer's Redboy. And Boomer's Redboy is going to probably have more Redboy in him than the Mr. Bulldog dog. And he's further down the line. But Mr. Bulldog was coming directly off that stuff, you know. And that's why I say you can see the difference. You know what I'm saying? You can see the difference. You can see the difference in how the dogs look. You know what I'm saying? You can see the difference in the production of the dogs. Boomer threw off great, phenomenal dogs. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Bulldog threw off great, phenomenal. But at the same time, if you dealt with dogs off of them dogs, like Mr. Bulldog and them, if you dealt with puppies off of them and had dogs off of them, and then you dealt with dogs off of 70 Arab Boomer dogs, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the difference, you know. And like I said, the Boomer dog, 70 Arab Boomer dog, is going to probably be bred better far as having Redboy in him. He's probably going to have Redboy in him more times than Mr. Bulldog. But hey, it is what it is, man. Like I said, it's a difference between pure and it's a difference between being directly off of that stuff and directly off of descendants off of that. It's difference of being directly off of a son of Redboy and being a pure Redboy dog. Would you rather have a dog directly off one of Redboy's sons? Or would you want to have a dog that's 2003 that's coming with Redboy and the whole pedigree? Do you think you'll get better traits from Redboy breeding directly to one of his sons, and the bottom half is something else, than having a 2023 pure Redboy dog, top and bottom? And that's no discredit to none of these Redboy dogs, because I love them these days. I love them. You know what I'm saying? But we just talking about facts and opinions. Some things facts, some things is opinions. You know, and you know, like I said, shout out to all the brothers that's rocking that Redboy stuff. You know, because there's a lot of great Redboy stuff out there. And a shout out to them brothers that's breeding it the right way, preserving the line, and keeping brothers where they can get good Redboy dogs in the modern day time. You know, in the modern day time. Now, next, we're talking about Marlowe's Peaches, you know. And we still not pure Redboy. We still not pure Redboy. When you look at the pedigree, she's coming off Mr. Bulldog, bred back to one of Redboy daughters. And, you know, we're still not pure Redboy, but would you rather have, we talking about for breeding stock now, you're just using this for breeding stock, and you want to breed you some Redboy stuff, you know, would you rather have this particular dog or your modern day 2023 Redboy dog that's got Redboy in every single dog in the pedigree? Every single dog in the pedigree is Redboy, you know, all from the top to the bottom. From the rooter to the tutor. Would you rather produce off that, or would you rather produce off this right here that's not even, you know, that's just a high percentage of Redboy? You know, we're going to get the better puppies from, you know, Marlowe's Peaches. It's just because I don't know genetics like that. You know, I'm not no scientist or really study that particular field, but I know, you know, it's a little bit of common sense and it's a little bit of seeing it, being through it as far as seeing certain things. You know, seeing these modern day dogs, pure Redboy dogs, bred great ways, seeing the old school stuff, bred the way they was bred, just having a little 25% of Redboy in it back in them days gave you a different dog than a pure Redboy dog is these days. You know, I don't know what it was, you know, as far as the breeding wise, but getting a dog off of them dogs back then made better dogs than a pure Redboy dog, you know. And, you know, I know that saying when we try to go pure Redboy, what we're trying to do is replicate Redboy himself. We try to make, when we say, all right, this puppy right here is pure Redboy from top to bottom, you know, from the top to bottom. the thing is, we trying to say that this puppy right here is the next thing to Redboy himself. You know, whatever, if it's a female or male, the next thing to Redboy themselves because of the way the dog is bred. You know, and it is, as far as the breeding wise, as far as the way the dog is bred, the dog is nothing but Redboy, bred back to Redboy stuff. So he is a duplicate of Redboy in that sense. But at the same time, genetics seem like they used to follow a little closer back then, as far as your dog having them traits from that dog. You know, your dog having them traits. Them they say Redboy make natural winded dogs. You know, or game dogs, just dogs that's real game. You know, them traits really followed down into the dogs back then compared to the modern day times. You know, like we say the Redboy dogs don't have mouth, or the Redboy dogs doing this or doing that, but that's Redboy traits. Them Redboy traits that he was throwing down to the dogs that he bred to. You know what I'm saying? The modern day Redboy dog, we have yet to find what the traits is. Is it still the old school Redboy traits? Have we captivated them traits and kept them and brought them all the way up from, you know, the 80s to now, the same traits? If so, that's great. You know, if so, that's great. And that's what we wanted to do, is keep the traits in the dog that was there from the start, you know, when the dog started his career off. Okay, now we're going to get to these black brindle or black Redboy dogs. You know what I'm saying? First, we're going to get to Marlowe's breeches, brindle and white, dark brindle and white. All right? And this is the thing, like I said, man, you take these dogs that are coming directly off Redboy, if you would have selected breed those dogs back in them days and only kept the brindle color dogs, bred it back to Redboy, only kept the brindle color dogs, or at least, you know, kept adding that brindle color dog or black color dog, you know, into your program, then you're going to continually get them color dogs. And it's going to be getting pure and pure Redboy because you still going back to Redboy. You're going back to Redboy over and over, but you selected breeding and you only keeping the brindle ones. So the Redboy blood is getting tighter and tighter, and the color is still going to be a dark color, you know? So, you know, like I said, it's you know, if guys got some pure black Redboy dogs out there, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? It's possible, but, you know, like I said, it's going to take some breeding. It's going to take breeding for at least 3 generations from the time that Redboy bred with the outside dog to make a pure Redboy dog. Now, Marlowe's breeches is of a son of Redboy bred back to a daughter of Redboy. You know, son of Redboy bred back to a daughter of Redboy. And although the dog is brindle's color, you can look at the dog markings and see that those are Redboy markings that the dog have on him, you know. So the Redboy traits did go through to that dog. He just was a different color. And one thing we can't forget now, same way I say the top and the bottom matter, y'all don't forget now. You don't know what Redboy daddy was off of, so you don't know if those brindle dogs and just Redboy the only one that came out red. Maybe Redboy the only one that came out red off that litter. The rest of them was black, or the rest of them was brindle color. Who knows? You know, like I said, it ain't Till Jeff. We ain't talking about no Till Jeff. You know, that's just write down. Same way Mayfield telling y'all, same way Mayfield writing in these books telling y'all, Eli wasn't off this, Eli was off Little Cotton, and wasn't off that, and this dog was off this, and Blind Billy pedigree was wrong and all that. Same way he telling y'all that, I'm telling you, the Redboy wasn't off Till Jeff. So it ain't no telling what kind of genes Redboy really got in him. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Redboy got a mama and a daddy. He wasn't born out the sky. He didn't drop down and just, We got some kind of special dog that's never, no, man. He got a mama and a daddy. We know what color the daddy was. We know what color the mama was, but we don't know what color the Redboy granddaddy them was. I take that back. We don't know what color the granddaddy was. Know what color the daddy was. It just wasn't till Jeff. And know what color the mama was. But we don't know what color the granddaddy was and the grandmama was to the daddy dog. And when it comes to the black Redboy Jocko dogs, the original black Redboy Jocko line would have been the termite line. Would be the termite line. The only black dog that's Redboy Jocko produced during that era. Now here's where it gets tricky at. If you have a pure termite, say if you got a pure termite male, I'm talking about termite in every single dog from the top 4th pedigree to the bottom 4th pedigree. Termite is in the background. Okay? You got a black dog, black termite, all Redboy Jocko in the breeders, and you kept it all Redboy Jocko, your dog's black, that's pretty much, the only black line of Redboy Jocko dogs that you can say is not crossed out to get black. Not crossed out to get black. The black is just the same black from the Mayfield dogs. Just popped up in termite. And then he passed it down to all his genes, all his offspring, and their offspring. And then that black will take control over a litter. So if you bred your termite consistently to Redboy Jocko dogs, nothing else, and you still got black ones, then you got black Redboy Jocko dogs without being crossed out. See, termite can't help he came out black. He can't help he came out black. He could have came out brown or buckskin. But he came out black, and he's gonna probably, from what I heard, the original termite threw off mostly, for the most part, black dogs. Even when you bred him with other different colored dogs, he threw off black dogs himself. But I know a fella from around my way, a great dog man. He told me himself that he bred the yellow and he bred the termite. And the level of dogs that he got from he bred the same female. He bred one time the yellow and he bred one time the termite. The level of dogs that he got from termite couldn't compete with the level of dogs that he got from yellow. And that's just with this particular female that he did it with. As a matter of fact, this brother talked so down on that litter, I'm not even going to say the things he said about it because you'll think I'm being biased. And I like that yellow stuff. You think I'm just rooting for the yellow. But he said so much about that particular yellow breeding and the termite breeding. How the termite pups turn out with the same female, So, but yeah, if you got the termite stuff, you can have black Redboy Jocko in the modern day times if you kept it Redboy Jocko without going out. Now, another brindle Redboy Jocko, type Redboy Jocko you got is Grand Champion Gaines Jr. Grand Champion Gaines Jr. He was a brindle, But the thing is, these dogs are close to the Mayfield stuff. So you can expect black to come out. You can expect brindle to come out and different things. These dogs are close to the Mayfield dogs, The modern day dog is even further from the Mayfield dogs. So if you got, these dogs are from the 80s. Now by the time the 90s came, the Redboy Jocko dog, dogs that was considered the Redboy Jocko dogs, were starting to tend more to certain colors. Were starting to weed to certain colors. Now by the time the 2000s get here, for the most part, the Redboy Jocko dogs are certain colors. All right. Now, if you got a pure Redboy Jocko dog and he throwing off black, Either you went out somewhere, in modern day time, I'm talking, either you went out somewhere or another, and then you went back in to purify the lineup, which is cool. You came back in to purify the lineup, and that black color just, pops up, keep popping up. Although you bred back to, to make the line pure again. Or, I wouldn't even say a dog that's got a lot of Gaines Jr. in it from back then, and you've been breeding to nothing but buckskin, red, cream dogs, brown dogs. You've been breeding to them kind of dogs, all in all the pedigrees. I don't even think that Gaines Jr. will pop up in a 2023 dog, unless the dogs are, say you got dogs that's coming directly off yellow that you're breeding, or dogs that's coming directly off yellow sons that you're breeding. Because then we're going back closer to the Mayfield stuff. We're going back closer. The closer we get to that Mayfield stuff, the more chances is that we're going to get dogs of black or brindle color in that Redboy Jocko stuff. Now let's take a trip back into time. Let's talk about how a particular Redboy Jocko line was created. Let's go way back to when Mr. Chavis had Yellow John. He bred Yellow John to short stuff, his daughter. He bred Yellow John to his daughter's short stuff, and he got Chavis's Curly. He bred Chavis's Curly back to Yellow John again. He bred, once he bred that to Yellow John, he got Chavis's Daisy. All right. Now, when he bred Chavis's Daisy, he took her back to Yellow John. From that, he got Chavis Yellow John 2. Now, don't forget about Yellow John. Don't forget about Yellow John. We're going to leave him right there for a second. Yellow John 2. All right, Yellow John 2. We're going to leave him right there for a second. All right. While they was making them great breedings, Mr. Chavis did Yellow John bred the Green Sandy. All right. From that, they got Super Nance Boots. Super Nance Boots bred to Chavis Wiggles. Now, Wiggles is off Yellow John bred back to his daughter. Okay, so they bred Super Nance Boots to Wiggles and got Chavis's Tipsy. Remember that name now, Chavis's Tipsy. Super Nance Boots and Wiggles made Chavis's Tipsy. Okay, now what they did, they took Chavis's Tipsy and bred her back to Yellow John 2. Bred her back to Yellow John 2, and from that, we got Chavis's Cisco. Now, when I tell you Mr. Chavis had the breeders on his yard, he had the breeders on his yard. He took a Yellow John back to a daughter of Argo. Okay, for those who don't know who Argo is, Argo and Jocko are little mate brothers and sisters. Little mate brothers, rather. Argo. So he took Yellow John back to a daughter of Argo. And that dog that came from that breeding was named Chavis Jocko 3. Now pay attention. Mr. Chavis took a pure Jocko male named Ironside. He took Ironside back to Tipsy again. So obviously Tipsy was a great producing female dog that Mr. Chavis had. He took Ironside back to Tipsy, and he got Chavis Schiller. Okay, he took Schiller back to Jocko 3, and he got Triple O Jocko. Triple O Jocko, he took him back to Tipsy again. Everything he was getting that was, he felt like it was a great dog, he took back to Tipsy. He took Triple O Jocko back to Tipsy, and he got Walkamal's Ace. Walkamal's Ace. Okay? We get Walkamal's Ace to breed with Walkamal's Sabre. We get Walkamal's Little John. We get Walkamal's Sabre to breed the Grand Champion Yellow. We get Walkamal's Big John. Now, Walkamal's Little John is one of the highest Jocko content Redboy Jockos to produce in the early 2000s. He's got a slight bit higher content of Jocko in him than the Redboy, although it's almost a 50-50 split. he's got a high content of the Jocko in it, and then Argo was coming in there in the background as well. And that's Jocko little mate brother. You know, we talking about a line of Redboy Jocko dogs that Redboy Jocko don't come off the yellow. The Big John come off the Grand Champion yellow stuff. But the Little John is Redboy Jocko without having any of the Grand Champion yellow stuff in it. Phenomenal dogs. You know, phenomenal dogs. Now, one thing I can say, I had quite a few dogs directly off Little John. Very athletic dogs, very energetic dogs. Great mouth on them. You know, I ain't just had one. I ain't just had two. We had quite a few of them. You know, quite a few of them. And different sizes. Light 40s, heavy 40s, 50s. You know what I'm saying? Great dogs. Not saying everything was champions or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have their ups and their downs. Every dog has his day. I'm just telling you that he was a great producer. You know, a great producer. And, you know, like I said, he's one of the highest contented, or was one of the highest contented Jocko, Redboy Jocko dogs out there. Now see, when it comes to bloodlines, people say all different things. You know, everybody have their opinion, and everybody, you know, like I said, a lot of dogs produce great dogs, and a lot of dogs produce curves. But, you know, I'm not here to argue that the Little John stuff is preserve the mouth, or preserve the gameness, or preserve the smartness. I will tell you this, the way they're bred, you know, the way, like, say, my puppy Mellow Yellow is bred, the way she is bred, maybe, you know, it didn't go out enough. Maybe it didn't go out enough, but the way she's bred, her blood is linking her directly back to Mr. Chavis dogs, linking her directly back to Grand Champion Yellow, but specifically linking her directly back to Mr. Chavis dogs, you know, without the yellow in it. Without the yellow. Linking it directly back to it. And we ain't got to go into the 8th generation to see all that. You know, but like I said, me, myself, personally, you know, my opinion, I think Big John producing better than the Mayday stuff. Because if you breed Big John with the same dogs you bred Mayday with, you know, just my opinion, you know, you're going to get better dogs. But what I'm doing, I'm comparing a dog that only bred line bred to his family, comparing a dog that was a hoe. You know, he just fucked everything. You know what I'm saying? He screwed everything out there. You know, I'm comparing the two, so it's kind of different. You know, the caliber of dogs I'm seeing are line bred dogs compared to out this, out that, out this. Some of them dogs might not be nothing. They make Mayday look bad when, you know, he producing better than that. Now, if Mayday would have been on a yard where he just bred specifically to certain dogs for the last 15, 20 years, 30 years, then it'd be a fair comparison. You know, then it'd be a fair comparison. But you had different lines, different this, different that, different this, so I ain't gonna, you know, compare it like that. But like I said, they are half brothers, same daddy, different mamas. Different mamas. Same game plan, different agenda, you know, at the end of the day. And, you know, like I said, a lot of people say the Big John and Little John stuff is overrated. A lot of people say it's overrated, it's overhyped up. You know, it ain't what people speak about it. And it's all gravy, all good and dandy. You know, it's all good and dandy. I wish a lot of other dog men could take that criticism about their bloodlines. Like I tell you, it's all good and dandy, man. Everybody like what they like. At the end of the day, we all love all dogs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and we all love the fact that we all got different tastes when it comes to these dogs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we all supposed to be different. You know, we all supposed to be different. You know, it wasn't all supposed to, everybody had the same exact thing. That'd be bored. You know? And to every single person out there, their dog is better than the next man's dog. To you, your dog is the best ones, and it's supposed to be to you. You know what? Mine's supposed to be the best ones to me. And you know, it is what it is. If you don't think that, or think somebody thinking some kind of way about their dogs, then you just better get down with the program, buddy. You better get down with the program. You know, your dog's supposed to be the SIT, SHIT, the shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, there's a lot of overrated dogs out there these days, but I ain't here to talk about that. Just a couple of them. Just a couple of them here and there. You know, just a couple of them here and there. I don't think Mayday's an overrated dog. I think Mayday laid it down. When he laid it down, he laid it down. He put a lot of great dogs out there to help folk get the dogs that they got today. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's overrated. That's what you call laying the smack down. When you breed like that and you got people got his dogs spread out all across the world, then hey, and they got great dogs spread out all across the world, then they ain't overrated. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of you guys in the modern day technology, in the last 10 years, and you screaming these dogs, screaming about these dogs, this and that, and they ain't producing nothing out there. And y'all got all this technology going on these days, all this, way to get your dog over here, get your dog over there, get your dog over here. I don't care if it is a dog in overseas. Sell them to some folk in America. Get them dogs spread out different places if they're good, and let folk get the bragging about them. Now, just my personal opinion. The owners of these dogs may disagree about certain things, what I'm about to say, but just my personal opinion, from what I purchased, back in those days, I like the Little John stuff a tad bit better, because they was more work horses. The ones that I purchased were more like work horses. I also had some great Big John dogs. But they were what the name was, big dogs. You know what I'm saying? They was big dogs. The Little John dogs that I had, although Little John produced some great big dogs as well, I'm talking some phenomenal big dogs. The ones that I had off Little John was, average size. We did have one off Little John that was about in his mid-50s, real big, long, tall dog. But the ones that I had, for the most part, was average size 45, 47 pound dogs. 40, mid-40s size dogs off Little John. But it was athletic, like the Chinaman dogs, back then. Real athletic dogs. Real, like, scratching super hard type dogs. See, when it comes to that Big John and that Little John stuff, I tell you like this, at the end of the day, I rock with it because I know what it's coming down off of. You know what I'm saying? I know them brothers took them dogs, bred too yellow. You know what I'm saying? These brothers took them dogs, bred them too yellow, bred them to these Mr. Chavez dogs, bred them to these Mr. Burns dogs, and constantly bred these dogs in one family, best to the best. These dogs really coming down from people who bred them to Mr. Chavez, directly to Mr. Chavez. You know what I'm saying? They ain't go buy some champions and bring a dog in and go buy this champion and bring a dog in and go buy this champion, bring a dog in from this blood. That's all cool if that's how you doing it. That's all cool. It ain't no beef with that. I might go buy me a champion from somebody or something like that or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about these folks actually bred their dogs with Mr. Chavez and continued the line from that. You know what I'm saying? Continue the line from that. And if you know what Jocko, Jocko was a rear end type dog. And, the Jocko traits is heavy in them dogs. You know what I'm saying? The heavy in them dogs. Not saying the Redboy was a better producer than Jocko or neither like that. That's neither here nor there. The bloodline combined together makes an awesome bloodline. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it wouldn't be fair to say the Redboy is better or the Jocko is better, But we could wonder what would happen if Redboy met Jocko in the square. Who would win that one? Catch weight. We're not talking about putting the weights together. Just catch weight. Just crack some beers and go in the box. You know what I'm saying? Redboy and Jocko, who will win? They say Jocko had the mouth from your ass. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm not sure about Redboy. I think Jocko probably will get him. Maybe the size will get Jocko at the most. I'm not sure if Jocko was the same size as Redboy, but I believe I'm going to roll with Jocko myself, over Redboy. Now, producing-wise, I'm going to say Redboy take the cake with producing-wise, because Jocko didn't produce. I believe Redboy didn't need Jocko to produce, but Jocko, as of what we see, what's out there, Jocko needed Redboy to produce. As what we see, Jocko probably didn't never need Redboy, but nobody just kept their dog straight Jocko. Nobody kept their dog straight Jocko, but people kept their dog straight Redboy without going back into Jocko. People kept their dog straight Redboy, but nobody kept their dog straight Jocko. And that's another thing. Why nobody did that out of all these great dog men out there? Somebody should have kept their dog straight Jocko. I know they got some dogs over Jocko that was producing. And even if they had a little Redboy in it, they could have took that back to Jocko and back to Jocko and back to Jocko again. And then just have it with a tap of Redboy in the bottom of it, but just straight Jocko all the way down once you start breeding this stuff back to Jocko. Why nobody did that? Outside of the Little John stuff. Like, you literally have every single bloodline bred by itself except Jocko. Except Jocko. You have every single bloodline if you really sit back and look at it. You got Eli dogs bred straight Eli. You got Jeep dogs bred straight Jeep. You got Bolio dogs bred straight Bolio. Redboy dogs bred straight Redboy. But you don't got no Jocko dogs bred straight Jocko. I'm talking about from 1980 something to 2023. Straight Jocko. Nothing else, straight Jocko. We got lines from every single line outside of Jocko. Now, I can use that to make an assumption to say, maybe Jocko needed something inside it. Maybe he wasn't, a lot of maybes when it comes to that. But I think it's more or less he didn't get bred that many times outside of what Mr. Chavis did to other people's yards. I think it was maybe more or less of that. And Redboy was bred to a whole lot more dogs than what Jocko was bred to outside of the yard. Everybody bred to Redboy. Everybody didn't breed to Jocko. And that can come down to the politics back in them days. That come down to politics and all that type of stuff like that. It's not just, the dog was a better dog or made better puppies and nothing. All that stuff start coming down to politics. Can you go to this man before you can go to this man? Or, it's just all about politics and when it comes to certain things. But, yeah, man, we got all them bloodlines, and each bloodline has a singled out people who bred the dog just straight completely that line, except for Jocko. And I wonder why. And I love my Jocko dogs. I wouldn't have it no other way. But I wonder why. I wonder why. If Jocko was so good, why we never focused on it? Why we never homed in on the Jocko stuff? Hey, it ain't, I'm going to say we, but it ain't my fault. I wasn't old enough. It's some other boys, y'all older boys, y'all older fellas. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all ain't home in on it? I ain't talking about that termite stuff. I'm talking about Jocko stuff. Termite could be in it, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't even talking about the termite line, I'm talking about Jocko dogs in general. Why we don't have them. Got everything. We don't got Jocko. It seemed like if y'all seen that Jocko produced with Redboy and it made the yellow stuff that was created the Redboy Jocko line, seemed like when y'all seen that somebody would say, oh man, Jocko, Redboy ain't doing it by itself. It's the Jocko stuff as well, on the bottom side. So, let me start breeding to the Jocko stuff. Let me start breeding to Mr. Chavis stuff. And maybe, just so happened like timing, Mr. Chavis died before, well, actually I heard they sold Jocko. I don't know if he sold him or if he died. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I heard one story said they sold them to a guy wearing pink pants. You know what I'm saying? I heard them they sold them, but then I heard something else, so I don't know what happened to him. But no, Jocko disappeared, and all the dogs behind him, you know, I guess that's why he didn't get bred that much. You know, Mr. Chavis had him on his yard, and, you know, Mr. Bass had Redboy. So I guess his way of communication was a little bit better during that time. Or people wanted to deal with him a little bit more during that time or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, my guess is as good as yours. But I do want to know from y'all old school brothers why every single line out of Pure line except Jocko. That's the question of the month. Might be the question of the year. Why does every single dog line have a Pure line except Jocko? Now, we think of all kind of questions, but PBK going to give you one to think about. And when you come up with the answers, you tell me. You tell me why we ain't got Jocko, Pure Jocko. Jocko was a great dog, and he threw off great dogs. Threw off great dogs. We know that. But we don't see that line today. We don't see that line. And that's what we're lacking. That's what you're lacking, see. Now, if folks would have been out here keeping that Jocko line pure, straight Jocko, then you could have went back and made you some more Redboy Jocko dogs. From the foundation of your stock of Redboy Jocko dogs. We still building from that foundation because of that one mistake that folk made. So from that mistake, we got to try to find the dogs with the most Jocko in it. With the most Jocko in it. Because see, like I said, if we would have had 4 or 5 yards out here with pure Jocko lines, or, you know, just 1 or 2 yards with pure Jocko lines. Not no Redboy Jocko, pure Jocko. Then you can take them dogs and breed them back to your pure Redboy dog. Now you got your Redboy Jocko cross. To see how your Redboy Jocko strain of dogs gonna do. But being a lack of the Jocko line, we can't do that. But we got every other line. We could try Jeep, Redboy, pure. We could try Eli, pure. We could try Bolio, pure. Well, but we can't try no Jocko. And I know damn well Jocko was better than a lot of these dogs I'm calling out. Not saying he was, but I'm just saying you can find pure all kind of dogs. Eli Jr., pure bully son, pure this, pure that. But you can't find a pure Jocko dog. Hey, it is what it is, my brothers and my sisters out there in the dog world across the country. You know what I'm saying? Across the world out there. From the United States to Africa to Europe to Asia. All my dog brothers and sisters out there that's bulldogging. In New Zealand, for sure, all my bulldoggers out there, you know what I'm saying? We got them boys bulldogging heavy out there. Bulldogging heavy out there in Africa too, man. Bulldogging heavy out there. I tell you what, boy, I mess around making it out there. I won't come back, boy. They show me some good bulldogging. I'll be stuck out there. I won't come back. I ain't gonna lie to you. Come get my daughter and them. Shit, man, that's up. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in to the channel today, man. It's your boy PBK9 giving you that dog news the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Like I always say, you know, y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. It's totally free, like I always tell you. It ain't gonna cost you then, it ain't gonna cost you now. I make sure I talk to YouTube and I tell them, make sure you keep my subscribe button free. Don't charge somebody for my subscriptions. You know, so they keep that subscribe button free for you. That like button, go and hit that like button before you get up out of here. Don't forget to get up in them comments, man. And y'all boys keep bulldogging out there. Y'all keep showing off them nice bulldogs, from the black ones to the white ones to the red ones to the green ones to the buckskin ones to the blonde ones to the brindle ones to the seal colors to the chocolate colors to the, man, all the color bulldogs. Y'all keep bulldogging. Cow patch bulldogs. All the color bulldogs. Y'all keep bulldogging, man, from the Rudy to the Tudor. You know what I'm saying? From the east to the north to the west to the south. Y'all keep bulldogging. Stay safe out there, PBK9s. And I'm out.